What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video, another day, another dollar. We're going to be breaking down our futures contract per usual. Overall, pretty solid day. Cannot complain. Buyers had a little bit of trouble early on in the morning, but overall ended up on the day. Ended up getting up into those single prints that filled at 48.27, dipping our toe into that upper distribution from that lower, or not from that lower, but upper distribution from that trend day down. We close in the lower distribution from that day. Okay. So not much left to the upside. All right. Something we got to take into account. All right. Something we got to take into account is the fact that we are one time framing up on our daily now. Okay. We have now taken out our balance high. Let's go ahead and look at that real quick. Let's go ahead and look at that. Let me bring that up real quick for you guys. So we are now one time framing up on the daily time frame, okay? Something to keep in mind though is just because we're one time framing up on the daily, we also got to think about the other time frame, the larger time frames, right? The weekly. The weekly time frame still in a balance. The balance high of that weekly time frame being 48.3975, the all-time high. So you got to, just like we had to think about balance rules yesterday coming into today, with our daily balance, you got to think about balance rules in the larger picture with our weekly time frame, right? So balance rules. Right now, we're getting near our balance high. So something you got to keep in mind is, are we just going to get near our balance high, come towards the end of this week, get near our balance high, and then roll back over? Keep in mind, we still have data to come out. We still have CPI, PPI, all that BS to come out. I thought it came out today, but I was mistaken. It actually comes out tomorrow. However, nonetheless, we got to treat the market with the market generated information that we have. We got to trade it with the market generated information that we have. And right now, we know that our weekly is in a balance, right? We are in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 week balance. All right. We have not tested our balance low, but we are now getting back near our balance high. We got just within a couple of points of it. We got within roughly 10 points, 11 points of our balance high. So did SPY. Both correlate very, very similarly. But keep in mind, balance rules, right? Remember what the balance rules are. There are 3. You get near balance high or low, whichever it is. But right now, since the market's going up, you get near balance high and you fail and roll back over. You get to the balance high, through it just a hair. So you stretch it, right? So say we get up to 39.75, push up to 40. 41 or whatever, and then we come back in. So that would be pushing up to the balance high, stretching it, and then rolling back over, closing back inside of it. Or you do the third, which is what we want to see for the buyers, and that is push through the balance high, take it out, and start one time framing up on the weekly time frame now, just like we did on our daily time frame, okay? Just like we did on our daily time frame. So just as we push through our daily time frame here. Yesterday, we slightly stretched our balance high. Today, we did the third rule, which is push through it and away from it, closing above it. So now we are firmly one time framing up on the daily time frame, looking to take out those highs. There isn't many more upside destinations to hit on the upside. And if the market really likes what they hear or see tomorrow, they should. I mean, that won't be the case, but that could increase the likelihood that we go and hit these highs. If they do not, and the market is too long, it will come in and we'll get back near our 20-day moving average and then come back into a balance on the daily. I'm not looking for that, considering we just came out of this balance to the upside. So keep in mind, context, daily getting near the weekly balance high. We are one time framing up on the daily now, but we are near that balance high. So come tomorrow and Friday, we got to see how we react to this area, right? Between today's high and that 39.75 high, basically between 48.27 and 48.3975 in this area here. All right. That is going to be our go, no-go zone. It's going to be a very difficult time for us to, want to take longs unless we have market generated information telling us otherwise. So that is acting as a big resistance area there, okay? Keep that in mind. Because of that, I actually decided to take off half of the position of my paper swing trade. Keep in mind it is paper. I'm slowly trying to develop my swing traded methodologies and rules and stuff of that nature. But I did take off half of that position. This is what that looked like. If you guys can see here, total. So I had 20 contracts bought at $1.51. All right. So 20 contracts bought at $1.51, sold half of them at $4.42. Before I sold, the total profit was $5,820, and today was like 3,000 of it. But I took off half of that, so we have another 10 contracts if we decide to push up closer to the balance high on the weekly time frame and break out of it come tomorrow. I will look to close the full position most likely tomorrow if we take out the day's low, or we continue to, or at the end of the day, if we're one time framing up on the weekly by that point, saying we take out our all-time high weekly balance high. If we do that, I will hold into the close and look to get out of the position right before the close. If we take out today's low, I will look to get out of the position. Obviously, it is the 12th expiration, and we are coming up close on that. So daily, one time framing up, getting near that balance high on the weekly, okay? Weekly still on a balance. All right, now let's go ahead and look at our 30-minute time frame and kind of review what happened today. In yesterday's video, I discussed about how I wanted to see the market open above 85. I thought if we opened above 85, I thought we would at least have a good opportunity at taking out today's high. Well, we did that. We opened right at 95, 95.25. We opened right around that area. And guess what? We pushed up, took out the overnight high and our high a day. The only tricky issue was early in the morning in B period, we pushed down, started a one time frame down. Okay. We never got near our overnight low. If I were to pull up, let's say, let me bring in the overnight hours real quick, just so you guys can see what that range looked like. So this is the full session. Ooh, that's ugly. Didn't mean to do that. So this is our full session. Okay. So every day we have a checklist that we want to go through, right? We want to, part of that checklist being our overnight highs and our overnight lows. We want to know where those are located prior to the open. So we knew our overnight high was at 48.04 and our overnight low was at 86. Okay. So even in the after hours, right? Even in the overnight session, we wanted to see 85 hold. Guess what we got down to? We got down to 86. I gave you guys in yesterday's trading plan, 85 was what I wanted to see us hold in the overnight session. We held 86. And then we open up this morning, right? We push up and we take out not only yesterday's high and our balance high, but we take out the overnight high. So we initially attempt to come out of an inside day up. Now, the only worry at that point was, let me go ahead and bring this back to regular trading hours. But our only worry at that point was, were we going to fail at coming out of an inside day up? Were we going to fail at coming out of an inside day up? That was going to be more or less the question. And initially, it looked like that might be what we did. Because we took out the overnight high, pushed up to 48.07, took out our balance high, right? Keep in mind that was our balance high on the daily. Pushed up to 48.07.25, and then we came in rather aggressively and started one time framing down. But note how we never came near 86. We never did get near that level, got near that overnight low. And then we ended up rotating back higher and struggled to take out our initial balance high. Now, keep in mind, that's another part of our checklist, right? We want to see where the overnights are, see which side we take out, and then beyond that, we want to see, all right, are we one time framing up, or are we one time framing down? Are we getting the initial balance high? Are we getting the initial balance low? And for a few time frames, it took us a while, right? We wanted to see which side we were going to come out of this market. And we hadn't quite taken out the initial balance. Keep in mind, the initial balance is the first two 30-minute time frames, high and low. So we pushed near the balance high, but couldn't, or the initial balance high, and couldn't get it. We came in, but never got back to the open, right? As we trapped sellers down here, we never got back to the open. and this market slowly grinded back up. Now, this is where I got involved on the day trade side. And I initially wanted to hold until we got up to the 48.23 level. But at the time, we were chopping around so much around the 48.04 level. I still felt that we would most likely take out the initial balance high rather than the initial balance low, based on the fact that the market's trying to go higher, right? Got to keep that bigger context in mind. So the market's trying to move higher. So I felt comfortable getting long here. All right, I got long 30 MES contracts, average price right around 90. I think it was 98 and a quarter. Oh no, I averaged pretty heavily actually, because I initially was long 4,800, and then we came in pretty good. Oh yeah, because I took a loss earlier in the day in the overnight session. I actually was long prior to setting the overnight low, and then I got out of that position for a nasty little loss, and then came in the day. So overall, it was like a $600 swing, made $450 on the day. But beyond that, I took an initial 10 lot at 48.05, bought another 5 at 47.99, another 5 at 4,800, another 5 at 98.75, another 5 at 99. I definitely should have been more patient on that pullback there. Definitely should have been more patient, but I was still confident that we would at least take out the initial balance high. Now, the reason I didn't hold on to the trade and the reason I got out, where did I get out again? I exited the trade 06, 07.25, and yeah, 05.75, 06, 07.25 is where I got out of most of those trades. It was right around right at the initial balance high, right? So right before we took it out is where I got out of that trade completely. And the reason for that, and the reason I didn't stay in it to get to my target up here at 48.23, which is initially, I had initial set to sell some at 48.15, which is where we had this volume puck right here, right? 48.15. So it's always good to know where those are located. I initially had some to sell there, but because we were developing a wide point of control just above 48.04, I didn't know if we were going to take it out and then come back in rather aggressively, which is what we did initially in the next time frame. We did push up. We took out the initial balance high, and was it A, B, C, D, E, F, G? In G period, we took out the initial balance high. But right after we did, we opened up in H, pulled back. That is our afternoon pullback low for the day. Pulled back, that developed a pretty good opportunity to buy against the 4,800 level. And then after that, we were off to the races to the upside. But I was happy to get out of the trade there. And the reason I didn't take the long again at 4,800 was because we were developing a wide point of control here, right? Initially, we were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wide here. We didn't get there in G period, but we did get there in H, developing a 7 wide point of control. So that means 7 out of the 13 timeframes at the time had traded back and forth between 48.01. So because of that, that acts as a magnet, right? Price is very happy coming back to that area. That's where you find a lot of buyers, a lot of sellers that are happy in that area. So we came back down to that point, and then right after, just boom, exploded back up to the upside. So you're definitely an innovator if you took that trade on that pullback. But because we were developing wide point of control and I didn't know, right, we were still looking like maybe we're just stretching the balance high, and we were failing at, coming out of an inside day up. But eventually we got, the bulls got their legs underneath them, and then we started to target these upside destinations. We actually had, initially had a double distribution day, but late in the last 2 time frames, we pulled back, filling all of that all that single print that we had in this area between 1325 and 1875. So we had about a 5-point area of single prints that we could have leaned against initially, but that got filled pretty good, because I believe once we filled up here, we had a lot of buyers that chased, they got trapped, and then obviously started to liquidate as we came back in. So it's always good to understand where things got accumulated and where they got distributed and where buyers got trapped. which caused this move back down to the point of control and where we're doing a lot of volume down here. So, net, not a whole lot changed on the day. Still up on the daily, but that pullback, kind of ruined a lot of what buyers, set out to do today. Let's go ahead and mark our destinations. If you guys would, just go ahead and follow along with me. We're going to mark our low of day. Low of day, 92.25. Low of day. And if you guys want to know about the checklist, leave a comment down below. We can review that on a different day. I'll pull it up. It's Paul's checklist that he handed out to us, and it has been very, very helpful. And I think everybody should have a checklist giving them an idea of what they, when to buy, when not to buy, or, helping establish who's in control of the day instead of, shorting when you shouldn't be and buying when you shouldn't be. It's always good to have the context of the market as a whole. So this is an afternoon pullback low right here at 48.0175. So buyers definitely want to hold that level moving forward. Buyers want to hold that level moving forward. This is going to be our afternoon pullback low. And then we have today's high up here at 48.2850. We filled that set of single prints right there. So like I said, single prints become targets to fill either on the upside or the downside, wherever they may be. So we never did fill these down here. So if we ever did pull back, they would be a target to fill, just like these on the upside in this area were a target to fill. So today's high, 28.50. And if you guys want to review single prints and how to identify single prints on your 30-minute time frame, leave a comment down below, and we'll look to review that as well. I might just do it just to kind of sharpen my skills of identifying them, and then anybody that is interested, we could do that as well. So there you have it. There's our destinations. Let's review. All right. So upside destinations, right? We didn't close, but we got into this upper distribution from that day right here. Okay. So we dipped our toe into that upper distribution that is acting as a little bit of resistance at the moment. We have not quite found acceptance up there above 27.50 essentially, where the single print started, or where they filled 48.27. So we need to find acceptance of price above 48.27 tomorrow, and basically above today's high, in order for us to get the other destinations to the upside. 48.35, 39.75, all-time high, weekly balance high. Okay, so keep in mind, weekly balance high. So a lot of profit taking for anybody that did get long and accumulated some positions in these areas, right? Good idea to take some profit off the table prior to the CPI. So maybe we see that come in tomorrow. On the downside, buyers do not want to get below 4,800, essentially 48.0175 afternoon pullback low, where there were buyers today. You want to see buyers there tomorrow, right? If we did pull back or open around that area, you do not want to take out 4,800. If we do, the likelihood of us taking out 47.9225, today's low, is rather good. And then there's a vacuum down to 67.50. There's nothing, absolutely nothing to lean against until you get to that low of day 47.6750. And if you do happen to get below that, because tomorrow could be volatile, you get down to 47.5425, 47.5275, where the single prints fill. So keep in mind tomorrow, got to wear your hard hats. The market is one time framing up on the daily. We are in a balance on the weekly, and we are one time framing up in the monthly. So all in all, the market is trying to move higher. So I would not be shorting this market unless, you are being told with market generated information like one time framing down, holding single prints to the downside, things of that nature. So on any pullback that you feel comfortable against a level that you feel comfortable, along is the play. I would definitely be cautious though in this 27 to 39 area, just due to the fact that there's a lot of overhead resistance here, right? That is the upper distribution, and where we had a very, very very wide point of control right there as well. So keep in mind, it could be a very sticky situation up there. Swing trade shorts could be stepping into this market. So you never know. So wear your hard hats, use stops, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. See ya.